just them being there around you can be inspiring. I mean, I'm looking at Alex Prabhu, for example, and shaved his head. I'm thinking, taking initiation soon. Yeah, inspiring himself. Even with Vernia here as well, actually, I'll give him a mention because he's been coming for a while now, and he's serving. Even though you can tell, you know, he's probably playing video games, or whatever, but he keeps playing. He plays the marzang. He serves, helps put stuff together, put stuff away. You know, that like Prabhu was very nice to say, I have that determination, but I take determination from him. At his age, it doesn't always come naturally, but because he's doing it, Krishna will take notice, and that's where, when he needs to have Krishna's mercy, he needs to be advanced further. Krishna will say, "Yeah, you've got money in the bank in that sense. I will help you because you have generally served me." So that's kind of, you need that kind of attitude there. Okay, let's get going with it. We'll start with Jaya Madhav. Yeah, it's okay. Jaya Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Bihari,
Jaya Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Bihari,
Gopi Jana Vallabha, Jaya
Gopi Jana Vallabha, Jaya
Gopi Jana
Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha, Jaya Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana, Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana, Yamuna Tira Vanachari, Jaya Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Bihari, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
So does anyone actually know why we sing Jaya Radha Madhava at the start of classes? No. So actually this isn't necessarily a specific reason in terms of spiritual reason. It's more actually because our founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada, this is one of his favorite bhajans, which he got from Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, who was a previous Acharya. So this is more of a case of, because Prabhupada set the standard for us, set up the mood, set up how everything is set up in terms of when we chant, when we do class. So Prabhupada decided that he wanted to create a mood of Vrindavan. So this is why this was one of his favorite bhajans to recite to start. So it's always good to have this things to start because, you know, we want to link with Krishna, so create the mood of Vrindavan. So that's always nice to start with this. And so next, naturally, would be, we do the invocation prayers, the Mangalam. This is to invoke the blessings of Krishna, his associates, gurus, and also to apologize for any offenses we might inadvertently do, because especially in this age of Kali Yuga, we are prone to making mistakes. It's not because we're trying to make mistakes, just that we're a bit frail. So when we do this, we take the blessings and we avoid any offenses, and that's a good mixture to do. Okay, and if you have Bhagavad Gita on you, it should be on the longer term, will be on the introduction, page 1 and 2. So you can follow along with me, or if you have it on you, you can look at that as well. Om Agyanti Vedandasya Jnananjana Shalakya Chakshurunmitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnava Shri Rupam Sakashatam Saganaharagunatakam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Paradhan Sahagananda Shri Vishakamansha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namaste Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanu Suti Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Vanchakalpa Durubhascha Krita Sindhu Vairevcha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshadare Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srimati Gauranga. Please raise your hands. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Twice more. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Okay, so today's verse is 4.10 from chapter 4 of Bhagavad Gita. As Ananta Prabhu mentioned, the class's name is Path to Attaining Krishna. So this particular chapter of transcendental knowledge, people tend to ask, so why is it in this particular section of Bhagavad Gita? Well, if you notice that chapter 3 is Garma Yoga, and chapter 5 is Garma Yoga, Action in Krishna Consciousness. So naturally that would be confusing, so what's the difference? It's Garma Yoga, what's the difference? Well, chapter 3, Garma Yoga, so Garma Yoga is essentially serving Krishna, but not really understanding why you're serving Krishna. You just, so, for example, you come to a temple, you help out, you don't know what's going on, but you think, okay, seems nice, the devotees seem nice, seem genuine, they will help out. But then when you get to chapter 5, you're serving with some actual knowledge. You've actually learned something in class, something from devotees, maybe a guru if you're lucky. You learn something, now you're applying that knowledge, so it's Krishna conscious. So it's Karma Yoga action, so you're actually active with Krishna in mind, you're not doing it because it seems nice or it seems like a good idea. You're doing it because you actually understand what Krishna is. Now that's not quite Bhakti Yoga, because Bhakti Yoga is loving service of Krishna. You actually do have to love Krishna. But actually, at least at this point, you've understood that there is a purpose to what I'm doing, why am I doing it? And so that will get you on your way towards devotional service. And this particular verse is a very good verse in terms of that. So in chapter 4, the first 10 verses, 4.1 to 4.10, this is aimed at those who want to attain Krishna quickly as such. They're not looking at different methods. I want to try this, I want to experiment here in terms of maybe maybe I want to try worshipping Lord Shiva, maybe I want to try a different religion, whatever. No. If you're willing to come to Krishna quickly, then Krishna is giving you the knowledge here. For example, he explains that, I gave this knowledge to Vaswan and Shvaku. In other words, I know everything beforehand. You can trust me because I know everything that's before, everything that's after. Example given is in 4.5, personality of Godhead, that will be Krishna. Many, many births both you and I have passed. I can remember all of them, but you cannot also subdue the enemy. So subdue the enemy is Arjun. Arjun, as we know, is great warrior, greatest warrior of his generation, very powerful. But he doesn't remember what happened previously. Krishna does. Krishna is the Supreme Lord, that's why. And then he explains, although I am unborn and my transcendental body never deteriorates, and although I am the Lord of all living entities, I still appear in every millennium in my original transcendental form. Krishna doesn't get old. Krishna doesn't deteriorate. Krishna doesn't feel like, we feel it, no matter how strong we might feel, sometimes at the end you go, knackered, but no, Krishna never deteriorates. Krishna is always perfect. So, but this particular verse actually is very important because, actually all the verses are important, let's just clarify that, but this one is important because this has already been mentioned previously. Okay, let's just make sure everybody's still awake. What's a famous verse within Bhagavad Gita that is repeated twice? Good. Manmana Manbhavto Majaji Mamnuskuru Mamvishyasi 1865 Krishna is repeating something twice, you know it's important. He's emphasizing it. So the verse itself is always think of me, become my devotee, worship me, pay homage unto me, this way you come to me without fail. That's 934. 1865 is okay, sorry bro. 1865 difference is that Krishna, same verse, but then Krishna adds on, I promise you this because you're my very dear friend. Krishna is doubling down. This is coming from Krishna himself, that if you follow what I tell you to do, you will come back. I promise. That's a promise from Krishna, not promise from, it's not a promise from one of us that it might get broken inadvertently even. No, Krishna's promising, he can guarantee it's going to happen. So, likewise with this verse, this is actually mentioned previously as well. So it's actually mentioned in chapter 2, 2.54. And I'll just mention this just because it's important. It's like Krishna repeating himself, it's very important. So in 254, Arjuna asks, O Krishna, what are the symptoms of one whose consciousness is thus measured in transcendentance? How does he speak and what is his language? How does he sit and how does he walk? So, in other words, someone who's a pure devotee. Krishna answered 256, one who's not disturbed in mind even amidst the threefold miseries, or elated when there is happiness, and who is free from attachment, fear, and anger, is called a sage steady mind. Now, there's one particular line here that I'll mention in the verse, which is verse I'm covering, that's very important. Vita raga bhaya krodha, free from attachment, fear, and anger. That is the key to this particular verse. So, this verse is actually the answer to previous 4.9, which, we know 4.9? Janma karma, yes, very good. One who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities does not, upon leaving the body, take his birth again in this material world, but attains my eternal origin. So, we know it's important when Krishna is telling you, if you understand the process, you will definitely come back. Again, doubling down. He's making sure for those of Kali Yuga, he understands. This is what this is aimed for people of this age. Those of previous age, they were smarter, they could maintain memory easy. We get distracted, we get bored, we get hot. No, but this is not Krishna's problem. This is not Dwapara people's problem, this is Kali Yuga people's problem. So that's why Krishna is helping us. He's repeating it, make sure we get it. If you didn't miss it first time, repeat again, make sure we get it. Okay, so 4.10. Okay, repeat after me. Vita, Raga, Bhaya, Krodha, Vita, Raga, Bhaya, Krodha, Manmaya, Mam, Upashitaha, Manmaya, Mam, Upashitaha, Bhavo, Jnana, Tapasa, Bhavo, Jnana, Tapasa, Bhuta, Madbhavam,
Madbhavam
agataha
Agataha
bhutamadbhavam agataha.
Bhutamadbhavam.
Right, does anybody want to repeat the verse? You got the Bhagavad Gita, you can repeat the verse.
That practice is similar. Vicharaga Bhaya Krodha Manmaya Mam Upashvitaha Bhavo Jnana Tapasa Puja Mad Bhavam Adlitaha.
Well done. Yes, give him a round of applause. Anybody else got the Bhagavad Gita on them? What's she?
Vikaraga Bhaya Krodha Manmaya Mam Upashrita Bhavo Jnana Tapasa Puja Mad Bhava Magataha.
So okay, Mataji's probably a bit tired. She's actually doing Bhakti Vedanta at the moment. So anyone who's done the course or doing the course knows it's good in terms of knowledge, but it's punishing in terms of there's an essay every week, there's an exam every couple of weeks. But if you want to advance, you got to show some effort. So as Krishna making sure we stick to it. Right. Okay. Now we'll just you can speak with me the synonyms. Vita, freed from. Raga, attachment. Bhaya, fear. Krodha, and anger. Matmayaha, fully in me. Mam, in me. Upashitaha, being fully situated. Bhava, many. Jnana, of knowledge. Tapasa, by the penance. Putaha, being purified. Madbhavam, transcendental love for me. Agataha, attained. Being freed from attachment, fear, and anger, being fully absorbed in me and taking refuge in me, many persons in the past became purified by knowledge of me, and thus they all attained transcendental love for me. Okay, so I'll point out a few words before we get going to the purport. Bhava, or rather bhava, means many. Why do you think that is important in this context? Many people have done this. Let's make sure everyone stays awake. Okay, who looks falling asleep? Prabhu?
Well, it means that many people can do this, so that it means that don't be put off that you can't be me.
Exactly, well, very good. Yeah, so it's important that we can get put off, we think we are advancing, whatever, but actually many have done this before. We compare the spiritual world to the material world. Spiritual is a lot bigger. 75% of the total understanding of what Krishna's creation, 75% is spiritual world, 25% material world. We're actually a small fragment of it. And many have gone there, and so that's not bad actually. If nothing else, phone to make sure everybody stays awake, But important, so that's the importance there, that it's doable. It's not doable, it's done by many. So I'll give the example of so actually we'll stay away from that one. So I'll explain bhava jnana tapsa. It's done by knowledge and penance. So knowledge, that's what we're trying to do here, trying to get a bit of knowledge about Krishna. Penance, meaning you actually put some effort in to control your behavior. Behave in a more spiritual manner, not in an animalistic manner. That's why we have the regulations, which we'll get into later, but we need to behave in a way that pleases Krishna as opposed to pleasing our own senses. Because as we learn as we get older, yeah, you can enjoy yourself, but you feel it. Your body's not meant for that kind of mad enjoyment. It drains you. But bhakti, you can do this as much as you want. Doesn't matter how old you are, even if you are in pain or struggling, you can chant the holy name. You can take association with devotees. it's not punishing, as in, let's say, for example, you head to a theme park. Some parents in the house, they know the feeling. Head to a theme park, kids are very excited, running around like crazy, hard to get in the queuing up for hours on end. You finally get in, the ride lasts about 2 minutes. You go down, they probably throw up, and then after all that, it's a complete mess. You don't have that in Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness, you take your association devotees, you learn about Krishna. Krishna is available at all times. He's there in the heart as Paramatma. It's not, oh no, what do I do now? No, Krishna's always there in happiness, in sadness. Krishna is there for you. He's always maintaining you. He never leaves you. And that's a real comfort there for any devotee, because we can get discouraged or unhappy in life, but if we think we're doing it for Krishna, there's no discouragement. There's only happiness. That's why you see the great devotees, they never seem unhappy or disturbed because they're doing it for Krishna. There's no sense of, what do I do now? No, what does Krishna want? The answer is always there, because there's always so many ways to please Krishna. And Krishna only wants your love. He doesn't want anything grand. Just make some effort for him. You make some effort, he'll make things easier. We are limited, he is unlimited. We link with the unlimited, things become easier. Okay, so as I've said before, there are 3 raga, bhaya, krodha. That's the 3 things you need to free yourself from: attachment, fear, and anger. And I said this was the answer to the previous verse, 4.9, which I think, believe me, that Jeremy will do in a few weeks. So if you do attend this class, you got the answer. You can show off, tell them how much you know. So, okay, I'll start with the purport. As described above, it is very difficult for a person who is too materially affected to understand the personage of the Supreme Absolute Truth. Generally, people attached to the body conception of life are so absorbed in materialism that it is almost impossible for them to understand how the Supreme can be a person. Such materialists cannot even imagine that there is a tangible body which is imperishable, full of knowledge and eternally blissful. In the materialistic concept, the body is perishable, full of knowledge and completely miserable. Therefore, people in general keep the same body idea in mind when they are informed of the personal form of the Lord. For such materialist men, the form of gigantic material manifestation is supreme. Consequently, they consider the Supreme to be personal. And because they are too materially absorbed, the conception of retaining the personality of liberation after liberation from matter frightens them. We'll leave it to there. So the first one is attachment. What examples of being attached to the body? Let's ask everybody here. Alex, probably?
Attached to the body. That means when you, first of all, you identify yourself with the body, and then because you identify yourself with the body, you kind of care about it so much that it becomes a very big priority for you in your life. So you're neglecting your probably spiritual priorities, and you start trying to enjoy and serve this body very well, whereas some of other parts of your personality, you yourself as a soul, might be struggling. So you are trying to engage in sense gratification, you're trying to please your body, please your senses. I understand like this.
No, that's true. So Prabhu explained, when you relate to yourself to the body as only body, then you're only looking to please yourself, please your body senses. So, but what are some of the effects of, okay, for example, when you relate to yourself as a body, how do you feel about your family members? How do you again? Let's get some conversation going. Okay, Masters. If you were relating to yourself only as the body, this is me, this is the body, this is all I am. How do you feel if, for example, somebody in your family has some sort of problem? Maybe maybe they're struggling for money or they're feeling ill. How would you feel? Sadness, yes, sadness. Want to help. What happens when you can't help?
You get frustrated.
Frustrated, exactly. It builds, because when we are just purely thinking to the body is frail, weak, it perishes. You might think yourself very impressive. A lot of people are very much in love with themselves, looking at themselves, taking selfies and everything. But the body withers, the body's temporary. We understand this. Everybody knows the body's temporary, but because it's so materially, we're so attached to it, we've become bewildered. The idea that we're going to get old, we're forgetting things, our family members will go. This pain can be overwhelming. People go crazy because the thought of such loss is unbearable. So some people are depressed because they can't accept the temporariness of this reality. We understand as devotees it's real, but it's temporary. Until you can accept that it's temporary, it's going to hurt you. You're going to be, what do I do next? Because you're trying to find, invariably trying to find ways to keep yourself going. And what happens there is that fear of death kicks in, and eventually, or whether it's fear for your family members or fear for yourself. That's a harsh way to live, living in fear constantly. Like the demon, that's actually demonic in that sense. You see someone like Gomsa, for example. He lived his entire life, once he understood that Krishna was coming for him, he lived entirely in fear. And the glory of Krishna is that even when you live in fear of him, you can still attain liberation because you're constantly thinking of him. But that's Krishna. We don't necessarily have that in that sense. Kamsa can be considered more elevated than us, and he's always thinking of Krishna. We forget about Krishna sometimes. We start thinking about what we want, or when the kids want something to eat, or my parents, or they need picking up or whatever. Like it's material. Yeah, exactly. So when we think materially, it's frustrating. It's material enjoyment. It starts off well, but it gets worse each time you experience it. It's like having a cake, for example. You taste the first time you had cake, but then you eat it next time. It's not bad. You keep eating the same cake over a week. You'll be sick of it. You never want to touch this cake ever again. Well, nothing different about the cake. This cake was still tasty, but you get sick of it. Different to spiritual life. It's hard at first because it takes a bit of effort. But the more you enjoy, the more you learn to enjoy, the more it gets better and better and better. And we have the examples. We have Prabhupada's a great example. Okay, carry on. So Prabhupada, despite suffering from ill health in old age, despite being mocked by his godbrothers, he travelled to the West, spread the glories of Krishna. First year, nothing happened for him actually. He was actually by himself most of the time, nothing was happening. And I remember one time I was running Sunday Sangha, and what happened was that there was some traffic jam on the motorway, so everybody turned about half an hour late. So I remember I just put everything together, so I was twiddling my thumbs, took each hand around, okay, fine. It kind of dawned on me, how did Prabhupada do this for 1 year? This I was kind of like being a bit spooky just by myself, just half an hour. So that's the thing, when you're not attached, when you're no longer attached bodily, you're attached to Krishna, even the most weird situation, most awful situation is pleasant. With Krishna, Prabhupada's famously said, nobody's here, just preach to the walls. So you can't go wrong. And in this example as well, so who was Krishna speaking Bhagavad Gita to? Arjun. That's good. Everybody's like Song of the Lord. Speaking to Krishna, speaking to Arjun. Arjun was suffering from bodily attachment. Yeah, sure.
Wasn't he also he needed more courage to fight the war? So
yeah. So
some of the chapters, like the first chapters, that Krishna doesn't say anything, but it's all Arjuna's questions about the war.
Yeah. So the first chapter is setting the scene. Dhritarashtra asking Sanjaya what's going on, whatnot. Then Arjun comes to the center of the battlefield, sees all his family members, all beloved family members, like for example Bhishma Dev, his beloved great grandsire, Dronacharya, his guru, somebody so much respect for. He's learned everything from him. All these great elders, and he's looking around. There's millions of men, soldiers about to fight, and he's getting bewildered, think, am I really going to kill all these people? It's said in Mahabharata, the Mahabharata war lasted 18 days, and in that war, as a, you know, just imagine, oh my, just it sounds incredible. It's said even today, the Kurukshetra ground where today is still red because of the blood that was, you know, the blood that was what you call spent during that wartime. So this was an epic battle. Arjun, intelligent, he understood that this is, you know, this is a great loss for everybody. So many of the ladies of the Guru dynasty end up widows. These are family members. Whatever our quarrels, this is going to be a great loss. Arjun is instructed by Krishna. Essentially, this is what happened in chapter 4. Essentially, this is when Krishna is getting Arjun to understand that actually you have a responsibility. You are the greatest warrior of your generation. You need to fight. And as Krishna explains in 4.1, I know everything. I've been restricted not previously to Vasvan and Shvaku and so on and so forth. This has already been ordained by me. Your job is to pick up your bow and fight the war. You get the glory, but whether you do it or not, it's going to happen. So that's what we need to get to. That's something to understand. What Krishna wants is going to happen, whether we like it or not. Now, if you can get with a plan, you can join the team because we're always part of the team. We are part and parcel of Krishna. We joined. Everything will be easier. We fight against Krishna, that's when we struggle. That's when we combine to material attachment. That's when things keep dragging on, and you end up really come back as a frog or a squirrel or whatever. Just drags on. But if you take instruction from Krishna, Krishna will guide you. We have to have that faith, we have to have that trust in Krishna. Okay, we'll move on to the next one, fear. Right. And because they are too materially absorbed, the conception of retaining the personality after liberation from that matter frightens them. When they have informed that spiritual life is also individual and personal, they become afraid of becoming persons again, and so they naturally prefer a kind of merging into the personal void. Generally, they compare the living entities to the bubbles of the ocean, which are merged into the ocean. That is the high perfection of spiritual existence, attainable without individual personality. It's a kind of fearful stage of life, devoid of perfect knowledge and spiritual existence. So this is becoming free of bhaya, becoming free of fear. Now, the fear comes when you actually start to accept, actually, Krishna is real. I actually have responsibilities. I have accountability. I can't just do whatever I want. There's no... People accept the general idea of karma, which might be misguided, but accept you are responsible for your actions. So you start thinking to yourself, actually, there's somebody who's created this world, somebody who has I'm part and parcel of somebody, I have a role, I have obligations. And then you think to yourself, well, what have I done for all this? And it starts scaring them. Thinking, oh man, I've done so much nonsense in my previous life. In this life, if I have a previous life, how much I wanted to do then to only get up to this stage? It scares them, so they run away from it. That's whether it's your age or older age, you cannot run away from your responsibilities. You cannot run away from accountability. At least with your age, you can at least say, I can work for myself, I'm improving. You're trying to improve yourself, you're working your way up. Unfortunately, when you get to a certain age, you can still do bhakti, but you really should start it earlier on. That's what's the whole point. This human life is meant to serving Krishna. Not meant to nonsensical enjoyment, just doing whatever you want, whenever you want, and then at the end of the day thinking, blaming God, oh, it's all your fault why I got old, it's your fault why I got fat, why I'm dumb. No, it's your fault you're old and fat and dumb. You need to put some effort in. It's all there for you. I'll give the example of some devotees. Right, for example, devotees sometimes can be illiterate, they can't read right, but they don't use that excuse to advance in bhakti. They'll still attend lessons, take instruction. So they don't allow that, we could easily say, oh, I can't do this, can't do that, so I won't do it. No, they'll take instruction and then they'll advance. So Krishna is so merciful, even if you have limitations, still bring them towards yourself. He'll still drag you towards himself. And so we need to take advantage of the mercy of the Lord in that sense. Okay, lastly, is anger. Furthermore, there are many persons who cannot understand spiritual existence at all. Being embarrassed by so many theories and by contradictions of various types of philosophical speculation, they become disgusted or angry and foolishly conclude that there is no supreme cause, that everything is ultimately void. Such people are in a diseased condition of life. Some people are too maturely attached and therefore do not give attention to spiritual life. Some of them want to merge into supreme spiritual cause, and some of them disbelieve in everything, being angry at all sorts of spiritual speculation out of hopelessness. This last class of men take to the shelter of some kind of intoxication, and their effective hallucinations are sometimes accepted as spiritual vision. So what does that mean? Okay, I'm sure everyone's had experiences dealing with people on the street screaming, God will rain anger on you, and if you don't do anything, you go straight to hell and all this. Yeah, so we all had it. Yeah, we all. So why do you think people don't respond to this kind of, this kind of preaching?
There's no love, it's violent and it's aggressive, and nobody wants this kind of emotions in their life.
Exactly, people don't want that kind of negativity. But, so what do you think what do you think there's still some people then that might be interested, but they're hearing this kind of nonsense? Okay, let me say, for example, if you saw me on the street, I'm screaming at you and telling you that, you're hearing this religion, you're hearing that religion. How do you feel? What is your natural thought process? Reaction. Yeah.
You'll be confused.
You
just ignore the whole
thing.
when you
Just go on with your life and don't care about it anymore.
Like kind of ignorant.
Exactly. So all these are natural reactions. You think you have a reaction to it. You find them ignorant. You find them confused. You get confused. I don't want to ignore these people. Are crazy. Which is what happens, unfortunately, because people. It's so innocent sometimes that they think they don't want to hear it. They think it's too much for it. Is he God? Is this God? Is that God? So that's the importance of Shastra. They're really important. We have to read for ourselves, because people can misguide us. Sometimes they'll blatantly just lie to your face because they want to boost their numbers. They'll tell you what you want to hear. And
they'll also tell lies to your face, kind of to make them more sound more superior.
Exactly. Yeah, unfortunately, I won't name names, but unfortunately, some do literally just lie to your face, and unfortunately, innocent people have joined that particular sect or religion, and then they find that this is nonsense. You read through the scripture, there's nothing here. You've lied to me, you've wasted so much time. You get confused, you get angry, of course you get angry. You dedicated yourself to a particular cause out of the goodness of your heart. You want to find the Lord, and then you've been lied to. This is where the anger comes in. This is where the confusion comes in. So, as explained, the last class of men take to the shelter of some kind of intoxication, and their effective hallucinations are something such as spiritual vision. Now, this is the craziness of this age. Some people just start doing some sort of wacky tobacco drugs, and they get accepted as great gurus. Oh, you smoke this, you'll see something amazing. That's not Krishna. That's nonsense. That's the frustration of Kali Yuga. People got misguided. They're lucky. There's the verse from Bhagavatam, Pranashvaha Sabhya Kalabasmindrakejanaha Mandaha Samanda Mathayo Mandabhagya Hiyapritataha. Oh, learned one, these men of this age of Kali, these men are quarrelsome, lazy, unlucky, and misguided, and short lives. Just so much. We actually, when we think of our limitations, it's actually kind of. It's unfortunate that we don't have longer to get things done, but by the same token, we have the holy name. Again, Hare Nama, Namayeva Kevalam, Nastiyeva, Gati Anyatha. In this age of Kali, the only way of deliverance is to chant the holy name. There's no other way, there's no other way, there's no other way. It seems simple, and it's reason why been made simple because that's our aptitude. As much as arrogant as we are, as we think we are, reality is we can't focus for too long. So we need something that can help us focus. That's why we have the holy name. When you're happy, when you're sad, turn to the holy name, chant the holy name. That way, your mind comes back to center, your mind comes back to Krishna, and what was confusing becomes easy. Okay, so now explains one has to get rid of all the three stages of attachment to the material world: negligence of spiritual life, is explained; fear of a spiritual person's identity, you have to accept you're a spirit soul, part of Krishna; and the conception of worth that arises from frustration life. To get free from these three stages of material concept life, one has to take complete shelter of the Lord, guided by the bona fide spiritual master, and follow the disciplines and directive principles of devotional life. The last stage of devotional life is called Bhava, or transcendental love Godhead. According to Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1.4.15 to 16, the science of devotional service: Adha Shraddha Tatha Sadhu Sango Tha Bhajana Kriya Tato Anartha Nivritti Syat Tato Nishtha Ruchi Tataha Atha Saktis Tato Bhavas Tatha Prema Bhyudhan Chati Sadakhanam Ayam Premnaha Pradhur Bhave Bhavet Kramaha. So here Krishna is setting out the 9 stages of bhakti, 9 stages of devotional service from Shraddha to prayer. So if we come to this point, we can accept there's a process to get there. It's not just we do it on our own whimsical ways. We follow the process and we can get from A to, from step 1 to step 9. It's easy to put it that way. So in the beginning, one must have a preliminary desire for self-realization. This will bring one to a stage of trying to associate with persons who are spiritually elevated. The next stage, one becomes initiated by an elevated spiritual master, and under instruction, the neophyte devotee begins the process of devotional life. The execution of devotional service under the guidance of spiritual master, one becomes free from all material attachment, attains steadiness and self-realization, and acquires taste for hearing about personality God is Shri Krishna. Okay. So what does this mean for us? It starts off with Shraddha. What is Shraddha? Faith. What do you understand as faith? Say that, Prabhu. What do you understand as faith?
I think in something that I believe in. For example, I have faith in my parents, faith in my teachers, following the teachings that they have provided me, like a guided path. I believe that whatever they have told me is right.
Kanishka, what do you understand as faith? Can't just look at your phone all the way through. Okay, let me put it like this. Why do you chant? I assume you chant at least one round, yeah? First, why do you chant? Because you're following, you're following Krishna, you're following instructions. That is basic faith. Basically, if you're willing to follow instructions, you can say you have faith. Now, the key is to build that faith. It can't just be because your parents told you to do so, or it sounds nice. You have to understand why you're doing it and build on it. Your faith will be tested. I want everybody to understand this. If you want to advance in Krishna consciousness, Krishna will test you. Whether it be through devotees, whether it be family, whether it be through just general circumstance, health, Krishna will test you. Krishna wants to see, are you genuine? Do you want to come back to me? Do you want to come back to Godhead? Or are you just whimsical? If you're just joking around, thinking, oh, okay, I'll come to Sunday Sangha once a month, I'll maybe chant a few rounds here and there, you're whimsical. Krishna's no joke. This is the supreme gift. You want to earn supreme gift, you got to earn it. It's not just, I'll just, keep do it when I want to do it. Maybe I'll make a donation here and there, maybe I might just serve now and then. No, it's day in, day out. It's serious business. So this is, for Buddha Shraddha, this is how you do it. And so, not to worry, Krishna gives us guidance. Next is Sadhu Sangha. What is Sadhu Sangha?
Association of devotees.
Now, when we say Sadhu Sangha, it doesn't have to mean that you have to associate with a topmost devotee only. Now, if you can, great, take guidance from them. But sadhusanga also just generally means take association of any devotees. Just coming here, that's association of devotees. You listening to class, association of devotees, talk to devotees, understand their mood, understand why they're doing it, understand how they have advanced. They can provide you like the path to attaining Krishna consciousness. They can provide you the path. You don't have to feel like you're not in this alone. You can work with the devotees. You can understand if something's not attracting you. You can understand why it's not attracting you. Why am I feeling this way? All devotees have gone through the same process, and if they haven't gone through that particular idea or particular problem, they can guide you towards somebody who has gone through that process. You work together. That's the whole point. It's not about just getting yourself back to Godhead. You drag everybody else with you. So you work that way, it actually becomes easier. Don't work against each other, work together. Next one, Bhajana Kriya. What is Bhajana Kriya?
It's practical devotional service. When you do something for Krishna already.
Krishna already, in that sense, but it's more in terms of taking instructions from a guru. That's the next step up. So you're following, you're attending temple, for example, you're taking associated devotees. You want to take it to the next level. You want to take guru. You want to take instruction. You're willing to. The point of guru is a representative of Krishna. Sakshadaitvena samasta shastra uksastha bhavina sabhi kintu baboya priyatasya vande guru shri chanarinda. The guru is the most confidential servant of the Lord. That is why he's worshipful as the Lord. The Guru is not Krishna, let's not get that confused. But because he has devoted his life to Krishna, he gives everything Krishna. That is why we take shelter of him. So the process in Krishna, within ISKCON, first you take aspiring, you take blessings from the Guru, then you take shelter. So for about a year or so, you would be following, you get to know the Guru, understand the Guru, you understand what his demands are. So, for example, some gurus prefer book distribution, some are more into more kirtan based or whatever. It just depends, but you get to understand what the guru actually wants from you. So that way you can serve the guru once you take initiation. And once you take initiation, then you're following the regulations. No meat eating, no gambling, no intoxication, no illicit relationships. Essentially living a clean lifestyle. And you're chanting your rounds, 60 rounds a day. I know it can sound daunting, but once you get going, you actually want to chant more rounds. That's the beauty of Krishna consciousness. First time you start chanting, I remember that's kind of difficult. I mean, I thought I did well, so I managed to get to 108 but when you start to understand Krishna, you show Krishna, you actually want to learn about Krishna. Krishna, like I said, drags you towards himself. You start chanting. I actually find I start enjoying chanting. Now, the funny thing is, some devotees say they don't like chanting. They've been in the movement for many years, they don't like chanting. I don't understand that. Because when you chant, you think about Krishna, you think about Krishna's pastimes. You forget about your problems, essentially.
And also, when you say that you don't like chanting, the another way what it means is that you just don't like talking to Krishna, because by chanting, you're praising him, but also talking to him at the same time. So by saying that I don't want to chant or I don't like to chant, you basically saying that I don't want to talk to Krishna and I don't want to praise Krishna.
Very nice, beautiful realization, very cool. Yes, so that's the point. Yeah, he's saying you're running away from Krishna almost. You feel like if you've done something wrong, it happens. We make mistakes. You don't run away from Krishna. Krishna is always there. You've got to accept accountability. I say, I'm sorry, Krishna, I messed up. It won't happen again. We can tell kids off, but why can't we tell? We got to accept our own accountability. We can't just say, okay, do as I say, don't do as I do. It doesn't work like that. If the kids are messing about, because they're seeing what you're doing, seeing you messing around, thinking, well, if he can do it, why can't I do it? That's actually the best way to get your children to advance in Krishna consciousness. If you're serious, they'll be serious. So for example, even like Kanishka here, she's advanced a lot in Krishna consciousness actually, because Nanpriya Mataji and Bodhikar Prabhu, they're taking it seriously. So she's seen, at least they're taking it seriously, they're not just turning up randomly and you see them every 6 months and now and again. Now Mataji especially, she's week in, week out. serving the temple. Well, we call it temple. It feels like temple anyway. You know, at times she's made prasada all by herself. That's amazing. I mean, and leave it to us. We just bring, I don't know, some apples and bananas, and yeah, there's a prasada job done. But that's that. So in her case, I mean, she's gone from a number of years now. She can do Nrsimharti, she can play the harmonium, she's chanting, all this thing, advancement. That's why we take in association with the Guru. Guru's reached the top level. He can tell us, actually, you're going wrong here, you're going wrong there. And it gets you to his, we want to get as close as we can. Ideally, we want to get to that level. But even if we don't get to a level, we're getting better. I think nothing has been lost. Nothing is lost in Krishna consciousness. Even if we do have to come back, we start from that level again. It's not like, you're back to level 1. It's not like one of the old style video games. There's no memory card. You lose, you're back to level 1. No, you get back to, you say, when you get to level 100, get to level 50, you start level 50 in the next life. And you work from there. So, there's nothing to lose. But, so we go 1, 2, 3, fourth one, Anartha Nivriti. This is the one that seems to be spanning the works for a lot of devotees. We seem to be able to get, everyone seems to be able to get this point, they can't get past this point. So what is Anartha Nivriti?
Application from the undesirable qualities.
Yeah, essentially get rid of your unwanted bad habits. That's a tough one. Unfortunately, because we have developed a lot of unwanted bad habits over previous life, over this life. Like a blatant example, Prabhupada would give us, say, smoking. Normally, if you got initiated, you give up smoking and all this sort of stuff. But Prabhupada's time, he was initiating devotees very quickly. So for them, they're like, you say they were in the temple for a few months, they were already initiated. So essentially, they're just giving up smoking 3 months ago. That's the rapid advancement there. But for us, we need to be mindful of, we're going to go to the next level, as one Prabhu described. On this Shraddha to Prem, Shraddha is, so it's like climbing a hill. Shraddha is at the bottom, and then we want to climb the hill and get to the other side. That's the other side of the hill is our destination. Shraddha to Nishtha is actually, so that's the next step after Anartha Nivriti. We need to get there. So after we climb uphill, once we get to the top of the hill, it's easier coming downhill. It's nice and easy. So we need to get this past. We get past these unwanted bad habits. So what do you think is the best way of removing these unwanted bad habits?
Sorry, what's the question?
What is the best way of removing these unwanted bad habits? Here we go. Go on.
You can listen to your elders, because they might point out what you're doing bad. So if they try to correct you, then you can also listen to them. Otherwise, you can also take time to think about if you're doing bad habits, even if you don't realize it. Then you can after when the day ends, you can think about what you did and thinking if anything was bad, and then try to correct all of it.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, self-awareness is very important. I think we'll have to get into your class one day as well. So self-awareness. But you got to think in terms of how you behave in just not just in general, but in terms of what's Krishna and towards devotees. So, things how you serve. What service are you doing? Are you doing service because you want to do service? You only want the big service? You want the one that gets haribols for everybody? Are you willing to stack chairs? Are you willing to take out the trash? Are you, Prabhupada gave an example of, he would test his disciples. Are they willing to clean the toilet? Nobody took a massive, don't worry about that. But if Prabhupada said, go clean the toilet, do they just, let somebody else do it? No. The ones that are doing it properly, whatever Prabhupada will go and do it. There's no sense of, I'm going to avoid the responsibility, I'm going to avoid service. You don't avoid Krishna service, no matter how big or small it is. Now, the easiest way the good way of advancing is by good chanting well. Now, I know everybody here has come to Sunday Sangha with Ananta Prabhu and Vernier running it, and you've been reciting the 10 offenses. Yeah? So so I'll just test whether you actually know any of these offenses. So what's the first offense against chanting the holy name? And then the Prabhu knows, Alex Prabhu knows. What about you? What is it? Okay, you go on. If you want to answer. First offense against the glory of chanting the holy name. Okay, don't worry. If you don't know, you don't know. Go on.
We do not have any hate to anyone.
No, it's blaspheming the devotees have dedicated their life to propagating the holy name of the Lord. So the importance of that is talked about. So think of it this way. That's important to sadhu sangha. If you spend all the time criticizing the devotees, oh, they don't do this, they don't do that, I should be doing this, I'm better than them, that's not sadhu sangha. You're failing the second step already. Sadhu sangha is working together, advancing Krishna consciousness. You build each other up. You don't push each other down. So that's important in that sense. What's the third offense against the glories of chanting the holy name?
Disobeying Guru.
Disobey, very good, Prabhu. Yeah, so disobey Lord as Guru. Think of Bhajana Kriya. Think of you've taken instructions from Guru. You've taken initiation from Guru. Guru has taken your karma. We understand when we take initiation, Guru takes our karma, whatever previous karma, so we can advance faster. We are under his shelter. But that doesn't mean that you can just act like a fool now. Guru will protect you as long as you remain disciplined. That's the point of being a disciple. You are disciplined. You get his shelter, you get his protection as long as you obey his instructions. That doesn't mean you have to obey him blindly. If you don't agree with something he says, you question him in a polite manner. You ask him, Guru Maharaj, what I don't understand this, can you explain? You don't say, oh Guru, we don't know what you're talking about. No. You need to, that's the point of disputing the spirit or disobeying the order of the spiritual master. The order is given to you to advance your bhakti. And if you're not advancing your bhakti, then what are you doing? You're messing around. Alright, I'll ask you one more. What's the 10th offense against the glory of chanting the holy name? Kind of. Anybody else want to go? Yeah. So, Alex, will ask you, what would be why would not being attempted, not having faith in the whole, glory of chanting the holy name, still being materially attached to a problem for our chanting?
Well, if you are still material, if you are holding to your material attachments, let's call it like holding to them, that means you don't want to actually go towards Krishna, because to go to Krishna you need to kind of open up, let it go, and kind of open up your heart for pure love. Whereas if you're continuing being connected to something in this world, thinking, oh, I cannot leave that aside, then you won't be able to fully surrender to Krishna, because you're going to be surrendering to your own false ego, basically, your own desires.
So if you're still, what was the first step I'd spoken from Gita Prema? What's the first step? Shraddha. You're still attached to material things. Where's your Shraddha? You failed the first step. The whole point of getting Krishna Prema is that you're no longer interested in material things. You are looking at your faith is strong. If you're still chanting with, Krishna, please get me a new car, Krishna, get me this, that's, again, it's nonsense. So you need to so if you chant properly, chanting properly means actually focusing on what you're chanting, focusing on the holy name. Listen to yourself, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Actually think about what you're chanting. You're asking Krishna for devotional service. Krishna, please give me service. So when Krishna gives you service, don't turn it down. That's like, then Krishna looking at you like you're something wrong with this guy, He's constantly chanting, oh, please give me service. I give him service, he doesn't want it. We should, hit your head with a stone or something like this. Just stop bothering me, But Krishna's not that mean, I might tell you off, but Krishna will just gently guide you towards you're being silly now, If you want my service, you're chanting my holy name, I'll give you service now. Now you want to build this relationship, now reciprocate. So now we get to Nishtha. What is Nishtha?
Stability.
Firm faith. Exactly. So you've got rid of your bad habits, firm faith. If you're firm in your faith, Now you can start to push forward. Now, like I said, you're on top. You got to the top of the hill now. You get the hard part essentially over. You're firm in your faith. You believe Krishna is Supreme Lord. You're willing to serve. Now you can push forward. Now you can. You need to get to that. Everybody needs to get to that step at least. You get to that step, Prabhupada will take us back. He's promised that. You need to get to that step. So we've got to Nishta. What's next? Ruchi. Now you have taste for the. Now it's no longer, oh, I gotta listen, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. Now you actually want to attend, you want to read Shastra, you want to chant the holy name, you want to go for book distribution, like Venkat Prabhu famous, every day is heading over, along whenever he can, heading out to book distribution, rain or shine. You want to go and do it. It's not just, oh God, why do I have to do this now? No, you want to do this. This is a desire, you enjoy doing it. So you have that ruchi. Now, next step? Asakti. Asakti. So asakti is strong attachment. Yeah. So at this point, this is almost described as like the beginning of pure devotional service almost. Now you're firm. Krishna Prabhupada said at this point you're fearless. You know what we were talking about earlier on? Get rid of fear. At this point you're fearless. It's like Prabhupada's great devotees. One devotee, Prabhupada told him, go to China. This devotee couldn't speak any Chinese or anything, whatever. Go and preach in China. And so, okay, Prabhupada, whatever you want. I'll head to China and go and preach there. How many of us could just give everything up, head over to some foreign country, don't speak the language, don't know the people. Okay, I'm going to go and I'll follow my guru's instruction. That's fearlessness. You do it for Krishna, no matter what. I think we're running out of time, so I'll speed along now.
No, Prabhu, carry on. It's okay.
Is that okay? Okay. So you're fearless. So we got rid of this point. We're free of attachment, fear, and anger at this point. Now that's the big steps. Now it's bhava. Who's a famous example of someone having bhav? Govinda. Thank you very much. I'll give you one. I'll give you Narad Muni. Narad Muni is a famous example. Narad Muni is famous for any sampradaya, Vaishnava sampradaya. Narad Muni is honored. He goes or spreads a message. It doesn't matter if it could be massive. It could be Hiranyakashipu, some great demon, or wherever Krishna wants him to go, he'll bounce from place to place. Always preaching. He's happy. He's preaching. That's the kind of mood we aspire to. To keep going. So we follow their footsteps, but it's not impossible. That's again, bhava, it's doable if we actually put the effort in. Narad Muni is a great example of that sense that his previous life he was a maidservant, son of a maidservant. That's not, son of maidservant, nothing much, there's no wealth, not much really happening. But they received the shelter of some great sages just by serving them with sincerity. Then they took in the remnants of their food. In his next life, he became the great Narad Muni. He actually, before that, during the process, his body was spiritualized. That's how I understood. It's like example of giving iron ore hitting like fire, whatever, like it does, like suddenly it's heated up. So it can be straight away. If you have the faith, if you're following the process properly, you're doing everything nicely, you're doing everything under Krishna's guidance, you can straight away become a great devotee, great example for all of us. We all, when you think of someone who is fearless, someone who has spread the mercy of the Lord everywhere, Narad Muni is a great example. Alright, so we've got this, but Narad Muni is typically described as having bhav rather than prem, because Narad Muni tends to reside around the Vaikuntha planets. That's where he goes to. So they tend to have awe and reverence there. So it's more like a Lakshmi Narayan sort of relationship. It's not that, it's said that in Vaikuntha Lok that you don't speak to Krishna, you don't speak to Narayan directly, you offer prayers from a distance. Narayan is the king. You don't just suddenly go up to king, give him a hug, oh yeah, I love you, and you're the man, no, it's, you offer your obeisances, everything is very regal, very royal there. So you need to have a certain decorum, let's say. You can't just mess. You can't just. You will have when you get there. You have your spiritual body, and you look the part. You look amazing. You just got to behave the right way as well. But that's the beauty of prema. Prema is the last step, pure love of Godhead, pure love of Krishna. It's the topmost step, and that belongs to who's the most famous example of having prayer for Krishna? Radharani, exactly. The gopis, Radharani in particular, and that is. We have, I know, can we see amazing? But we can see amazing, but that is available to us. Okay, what are the 5 rasas that are available?
Dasya,
Sakyam.
Vatsalya, Madhurya.
Very good. So we have 5. There are 5 rasas there within the spirit. Goloka Vrindavan. Shanta rasa is not available to us. It's understood because that's neutral. We have to actually reciprocate back and forth with Krishna. So you have 4 potential relationships there with Krishna, and that is in prema, in pure love of Krishna. Reciprocating, and Krishna in this instance is no longer. Krishna actually wants your service now, really does want to serve. Krishna is bound to you. If you got to this point, Krishna is beholden to you, especially the gopis. The gopis will do whatever Krishna wants. Krishna is like, I can never reciprocate your love for me. That's why he comes as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He wants to understand Srimati Radhika's love for him. She did, like, I love him, Radharani, but she loves him more. I can't understand it. It annoys him. But he does it anyway, and that's why we get the mercy. Only in this age do we get Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's guidance, and then we get the Goswamis. So, like example, at the start, I was talking about the Mangacharan, Rupa Goswami, his footsteps we follow. We've got so much mercy to work with. We just need to connect. And so, and again, the invocation prayers, we not only offer our prayers to Krishna, we offer prayers to Radharani, who we understand is more merciful. So the mercy is open there. So like I said, path to attaining Krishna. I didn't finish the purpose, but I didn't need to because you guys all seem to be in sync, that's good. Path to attaining Krishna is there. You just get on the path, Krishna drags us closer and closer. The more we work on it, the better we get, the higher you get, and then before we know it, we're there, and then we do whatever Krishna wants. Krishna wants to back to Godhead, we go back to Godhead. Krishna wants to serve somewhere else, we go and serve somewhere else. We're happy because we have Krishna. We can't go wrong with that. All right, I'll finish there. Okay, yeah. Any questions?
Actually, I'll make a comment first of all, then ask the question that you mentioned Baba stage. Maharaj Bharat, he was in Baba stage and he actually fell from that stage. So that's a dangerous stage to be. Even then, even to be in that stage is dangerous. Right? Prema is the best place to be. And my question is, this Vita, Raga, Krodha, are they connected?
In this instance, they're considered as 3 separate categories.
Separate.
So normally, lust, anger, greed, that would be the usual. But in this case, it's 3 separate categories because it's 3 separate people who are materially attached. And so 3 separate categories of people that are become disillusioned with spiritual life or refuse to accept spiritual life because the material life is easy to understand. And so once you get free of these 3 issues, free of attachment, fear of anger, then we can advance in our spiritual life. Any more comments or questions?
So I understand that we have to be materially fatigued. We have to be free of kleshagni before we can even think of, that we have got anywhere near to the right path of bhakti in Krishna consciousness.
Yeah, so
is it right?
Kleshagni is the first step of pure devotional service. So we want to get to Shri Krishna Karshani, that's top steps, 6 steps. There's different stages, but until we actually get tired of material attachment, it can't really progress because you're still you're hankering for money, you're hankering for power, hankering for all these things. Until you gotta get that out of your system essentially. Till you accept that this is not the way. You accept you are, It's again we come back to these basics, but we refuse to accept the basics. Like the hino spinita de he koma yojara. We you tell them, oh, we're soul, and the body's soul goes from youth to boyhood to old age. The soul person not rewarded by such a change, but we lose our soul. We lose our sobriety under panic situations. So that's what I was saying before. We need to build our shraddha. Our shraddha will be tested. Until we've built our faith, then we can't progress. If we're falling down after just because we have some bad situation, some bad instant, then then your shraddha is weak. You need to work on it. Yes, you may have been treated badly, but you're gonna have to deal with situations. Even in the spiritual world, there's competition. But it's more friendly competition over there. That's more like who can serve Krishna better. You need to get in the mood of I'm serving Krishna no matter what. I'm not letting anything get in the way between me and my bhakti. Once you get to that standard, then you're on your way.
Thank you.
Prabhu, did you have a question? Or that sounds good. Okay. Any more, or are we done here?
I think, Babuji, when you were saying obviously getting rid of your bad habits, it's a very difficult process. Even if you see coming from a medical side, for people who are addicted to drugs, it's just not like that. You say that you are going to stop the drugs from tomorrow and it will happen like that. So you gradually ask them to stop taking it. Reduce the quantity of taking the drugs, and side by side support them with different medications. I think same goes for our the internal bad habits that somebody might have, whatever they are. Once you are chanting, that is like Keto Darpan Marjan. It's cleaning your heart, and that famous example that is being given, that there's a jug of muddied water, and the way that you can easily throw it out, but that's not going to happen in a human life. So you can keep on pouring small amounts of clean water in it, and eventually a day will come, then it will be just filled with the normal pure water, because once you start putting clean water into a jug full of dirty water, it will start overflowing, and once it overflows, there's dirty things which are coming out. So that's gradually, and once you're chanting, that's connecting you with Krishna. And like we were discussing last week in Srimad Bhagavatam, once you are kind of guided, or you have that strength of Krishna name, Krishna prem, so you can cut those weeds of bad habits gradually in your life.
Yes, Prabhu. I mean, I think so. For example, you said about drug addicts. There are practical ways to get past that, but essentially they belong in the lower taste as we understand it. Now we have the advantage of higher taste. We can, and when that's the power of spirituality. When you have the connection with Krishna, it can advance you faster. It's not just practical things are you need to do. Maybe reduce what quantity you're doing, whatever. But when you develop a high taste, when you develop a taste of Krishna, you start forgetting your attraction to material things. That's the power of Krishna. Like I said, linking with the unlimited. All of a sudden, the impossible becomes possible. It seems crazy for people when they see it, but if you see devotees when doing Harinam Sankirtan, for example, they're so happy, especially like Rath Yatra is a class example. You talk to the average Joe, they look at them and think, why are they so happy? They're happy because they have the Lord. They're celebrating the Lord. The Lord has, that's the beauty of Rath Yatra. Lord Jagannath has come to see us. The Lord has come to see us. We usually go to temple to see Him, other way around. So we're ecstatic. So when we take advantage of Lord Jagannath, Krishna's mercy, that's when we elevate ourselves. We're not relying on when we rely on material things. Material things ultimately do fail. It's not their fault. It's just the name of the game. But when we rely on spiritual things, that's when we're relying on something that is, beyond time and beyond. It is something special. We need to rely on the special rather than rely on the ordinary things. Matthew?
When you mention anartha nivritti, it's the gross things which are relatively easy to give up. Because that also, I feel that when you give up the gross things, then that also gives you, makes you feel better, because that is, something that which is very visible. And it also puts a mark, and it also kind of feeds your self-ego that look how good I have become, because I've given up some things which other people have not given up, but I have given up. But I think it is the subtle things and the subtle problems that, we always, talking about myself, we're trying to put up a show when we are in front of people, but within ourselves, we are not as purified or, up there. So, one of the lectures which I heard, the speaker mentioned that, he's asking the Lord that please help me become the same when I am in front of people and when I am by myself. So that, that wall that I have created, or the pretense that I create in front of people, that goes away. So as you rightly said, that anartha nivritti is the hurdle, and it's the subtle problems which are the fine-tuning, which is difficult to do. The gross thing, giving up smoking, eating meat and all those, it's difficult, but it's not as difficult as the subtle problems and the false ego and the stuff that we face.
That's why I'm pushing towards chanting, because the biggest problem for devotees is that once you've reached a level, you get to the mode of goodness. Biggest flaw in mode of goodness is pride. You become, like you said, you become proud. Oh, I do this many rounds, I do this service, I've done this for so long, how great I am. You need to get rid of that pride. That's the difference between pure goodness and goodness. The pure devotees doing for Krishna only, there's no pride there. The goodness can't be contaminated with tinges of ignorance and passion. So that's why I'm pushing, that's what I'm mentioning, the 10 offences need to be taken into account when you're chanting. Don't just chant mechanically. Don't just think I've done my rounds, it's all done. When you chant, you link with Krishna, like young Prabhu here. You actually you build that connection. He's like you mentioned, like when you build that connection, Krishna will guide you from within as Brahmata. He will, if you can't think, I can't figure out what to do, where am I going wrong? I'll say something, oh yeah, that's where I've gone. I should have done this. I wasn't very nice to this devotee. I need to do this. The guidance comes from within. That's the power of spirituality, power of Krishna consciousness. We need to link with Krishna, then we get rid of the flaws that we didn't even know we had. So, very
So, if you're struggling with chanting, how do you find out which offense you are breaking?
How do you find out?
Where you might be, which offense of the 10 you might be going wrong?
Well, sometimes this is easy again. I keep going back to Young Prabhu here, but he's gives good examples in terms of we need just go through the 10 offences, actually keep in mind what a 10 offences actually mean, and then analyze your own. If you can do it, if you're lucky, you might just analyze it. Okay, yeah, I missed this one. I didn't. When I was chanting, I was thinking about material things, or when I was chanting, I wasn't following the mood of Guru. Or when I was chanting, mind was. But sometimes you might need to take instruction of. You might just worth talking to a guru or advanced devotee, if you have noticed something going wrong at. Other times, if it's very subtle, best thing just keep chanting, chant as well as you could, and then rely on Krishna's mercy. So if it's not, obviously there's outwards, you can rely on that. But if it's not coming, we have faith in Krishna, that Krishna will guide us. So if we feel something is wrong, we keep chanting. I find that personally, we keep chanting. Whatever's bothering me, come to the fore. That's where I'm going wrong. So you don't run away from chanting. Keep chanting. The more you keep chanting, the better. Not only the better your chanting is, the more you connect with Krishna, and then you connect with Krishna. That's when clarity comes.
Like they say, it's better to chant backgrounds than to not chant at all.
Exactly.
Prabhupada says it's better to chant offensively. If you don't want to, he never says it doesn't mean that you have to chant offensively. He says it's better to struggle in chanting rather than struggling 8.4 million species.
I just wanted to add, there is one verse in Srimad Bhagavatam which says that those who develop this taste for listening, what all these leelas which are described in Srimad Bhagavatam, then gradually by this mercy, all the like these qualities of passion and ignorance, they go away, and then the person becomes, how do you call it, they have developed a strong desire to do devotional service. So I've been asking this question one time from one senior devotee in Lithuania, and he told me that chanting and studying Srimad Bhagavatam should go along the way, like rails are coming, parallel, because if you just focus on one thing, you might be losing it, but if you have both things together, then the train will be moving in the proper direction.
Yeah, so you can't just be sentimental or too philosophical. It needs to be side by side. Like Prabhu mentioned, how I got started was reading Srimad Bhagavatam. What got me interested in becoming Krishna conscious, and Krishna sees Krishna. I might not have been worthy to take on Krishna consciousness, but Krishna saw that I was generally interested, so he brought me towards him. So again, even if you feel like you're not worthy or you think I've done so much wrong, Krishna is merciful. You generally show appreciation for. Generally, I want to become Krishna conscious. Krishna will bring him. Keep saying it, but it's just true. Krishna will bring you towards himself. Okay. Finish. Okay.
Shrupas ki jai.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So, did you like the class?
Yes.
Yeah? First I've seen nobody was sleeping. And everybody was paying attention. Okay. So thank you to Ajaya Prabhu again for a wonderful class. He's given the first time, but the way he has done it, it shows the confidence, the determination, how confident he's about, and more what he shows is that how much faith he has and how much he's connected to the scriptures. Okay, so that shows everything. And again, the way he's been serving along with his parents, and it shows again what mood he's developing towards the Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam, and preaching as well. Okay, so if you can give a 3 big Hari Bols to Ajaya Gauraraya Prabhu. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. And we can book him for the future as well in advance. So Prabhu, you can let us know the date. Okay, so he wanted to do the class before they're going for a pilgrimage. He goes, and for some reason he was moved. Then look, if you had a desire, Krishna fulfills that desire, especially Jagannath. Then he says, okay, and then Jagannath arranged, you know what, you want to come to me, okay, you want to give a class, I'll arrange it for you. Okay, so thank you Prabhu, thank you so much for enlightening us. And one quick question, all of you use phone, don't you? So if you want to speak to each other, what kind of phone do we need?
If you want to speak to each other?
Yeah. Do you need a particular type of phone, or any phone will connect us? Okay. So does the phone connect, or what does it connect us to the other people? Network. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you. And what do you have to do in order to have that network? Pay the money. You need to have a credit. Okay. That means for you to connect, you need a credit. Same way for us to connect to the Krishna, we need a credit. Okay. And what's that credit?
Chanting.
Yes, chanting. What else?
Devotion.
What else?
Serving the Lord.
How do you serve the Lord?
Serve your Guru.
Sorry?
Serve your Guru.
Yeah, you serve the Guru. How do you serve the Guru? What instructions Guru has given you?
Preach.
Preach. Okay. You want to learn from the preaching. How do you learn about the preaching?
Study the Shastras.
Okay, you want to study the Shastra. You want to know, he's given the answer today. You want to know how you going to study the Shastras. Who can tell you more about how to learn the Shastras? Sadhu Sangha. Where did you find the Sadhu Sangha?
Great Bar.
Great Bar! Sadhu Sangha Great Bar ki! So this is how you connect to the Krishna.
Haribol.
Okay?
I wonder where you were going.
So yes, we need the credit. So this coming to the Sunday programs, when you listen to class, this will form your faith, and this is how you connect to the Krishna. Not but I'll come to the class or listen and gone. No, when you actually see the people, you see somebody advancing in Krishna, and then you say, okay, there is something in it, right? We only buy the product which is recommended by someone and we've seen that product is working on it. Right? We try the medicine. Oh, Prabhuji, Mataji, try this medicine. I had it, it worked on me. What's the first medicine you will take? The one we've been recommended. So please I request everyone to keep coming and bring your friends and family, and let's connect to the Krishna through these sanghas and through this Sunday Sangha and chant the holy name and have a nice prasadam. Thank you everyone. We will have Aarti now.